All right, so we are going to talk a little bit about limits. So let's think about what we did the last time we had class. Is what we did was we took a limit. So we had 1 plus 1/4 plus 1/16 plus 1/64. And we said the limit, right, as the number as we continue to cut. All right, so if n were the number of cuts of our slice of cheese, so the limit as n approaches infinity is equal to 1n 1/3. So there's a few really important things we want to talk about there. So first of all, it's the limit, and someone even said it in class. It's kind of like the limiting thing, like where is it headed to? And often a limit is easier to think about than the process along the way. So as you were writing out these sums, you were getting like crazier decimals and blah, blah, blah. But the limit is where it's headed. Now, the important part here is we're saying as n approaches infinity. That's how you read that part there. N approaches infinity. This is where it's important to think about the potential of infinity and not the completeness of infinity. We're not saying that n is at infinity. We're just saying, well, n is heading to infinity. What is this sum heading towards? Okay, so if this was the sum here, so the limit as n approaches infinity of s would equal 1n 1/3. If you really want to get into the summation notation, just for those curious minds out there, you would have I equals 0 to n. And this would be 1/4 to the exponent of I. So remember that anything to the 0 power is 1. So 4 to the 0 would be 1. So you start with 1, and then you get 1/4, and you get 1/16. That would be the sum that we wrote, and you wrote it all out. In order to get 1 and 1/3, we would take the limit as the n approaches infinity. So we would say this number up here is getting closer and closer and closer to infinity. It's often easier, as I think I already said, to think about the limit than to think about all the little pieces along the way. So this is the final answer of the sum. This is where it was always headed. This is its potential, what it could eventually get to.